next. What does 1,000 mean to you between here and Utah State? What's that honor like?
I don't know. It's pretty cool. It's nice. Like, yeah, I don't really. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's pretty cool to have 1,000 points, but it's like it just comes with like I just played a game because like you know what I'm saying. Like I played a game because I love the game. Like, so yeah, all the accolades and stuff like that is pretty cool, but yeah, it's not really like my main focus or like or like a wild thing, you know.
Joe, other questions? Joe, how did it feel to get that poster this week after not getting it in the last game?
It was cool.
Sean, 5 different guys on the team hit a 3-point shot tonight. How big is the 3-point line for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just helps when you get in the lane and have people out there who are ready to shoot the ball and ready to space it really well. You know, we can beat you inside out. We haven't been shooting it from 2 as well, but we know what we're capable of when we do shoot it from 2 at a high rate. So, yeah, big weapon for us.
How much was stress on getting off to a fast start in this game?
It was. I mean, we knew they have a good team and you know they can get hot really quick. They have good players, so we just like we weren't necessarily talking about like we gotta start off on the 22 run or whatever it was, but like when we're taking this game very seriously and yeah, we just focus on every single game like it's our last. So yeah.
Guys, talk about the progression of this team offensively with roles solidified. Do you think you're playing your best basketball of the year on that end?
I think we're playing really, really good. I think everyone knows what kind of shots everyone wants to take. Everyone knows where they want those shots, and I think we're in a place where guys aren't looking over and being like confused when someone does what they do. And then coach draws up some really good things, and we do a pretty good job of execution. So just got to make sure we keep things together to end the stretch of the season.
All 3 of you guys in double digits. It's been a minute since you had an offensive explosion like this. What was that like throughout the game tonight?
I called it, right? I was saying days coming up to this, I feel like this is a game where it's all going to be clicking for us offensively, and I still think we have so far to go. At the same time, I think just our best basketball is ahead of us, and hopefully it just all comes at the right time.
3 games in 7 days. Are you managing heavy legs at all, or is it kind of nice to have the quick turnaround and just move on quick to the next game?
I think it's nice. Like you don't even. I feel like you don't even have time to think about the last game because the next one is coming so quickly. So, so yeah, I think it's no problem at all.
Sean, you had 11 offensive rebounds as a team. You grabbed 2 of them. How much of a point of emphasis has offensive rebounding been?
Yeah, I mean they track like how much we go, so everyone has a job. If you're like 3, 4, 5, your job's to crash every time. So they track whether you go or not, and it's been a bit up and down for us. So they've just been preaching us that everyone has a job to do, and that's part of it. And if you don't do your job, you're kind of letting the team down. So big emphasis.
Talk about the next game. Your early thoughts about Saturday going to Providence Center.
I don't even know. I didn't even thought about that game yet. Like, we just finished this one, so we'll see. We'll see tomorrow.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Is it nice to have confidence from an offensive outburst like this going into a big rivalry game like that?
100%. I think at the end of the day, like, you know, we have to prep for other teams and, you know, be conscious of what their guys do really well. But I think we have a team where, you know, other teams have to be ready to play us. So I think it's really exciting that, you know, we're clicking how we're clicking right now.
Joe, it seems like every time the ball leaves your hands, you think it's going in. Talk about your confidence level and kind of through the roof.
So I'm a big guy on faith. I just really believe in Jesus. And, like, whether I miss or make the shot, I'm just like, thy will be done. You know what I mean? So, like, I shoot it. If I miss, God's will is being done. If I make it, God's will being done. I'm still the same guy. You know what I mean? So I just enjoy the opportunity to do what I do on a day-to-day basis.
Joe, that was 24 for you tonight. What was it looking?
When I was open, I shot it. And sometimes I wasn't open and I shot it. and God's will was being done. It was going in.
For you two, what's it like playing with a guy like that wants to shoot it every time as a facilitator?
It's great. Like he hits it real quick, so like every time I swing him the ball, I think it's going in. So yeah, this is a great feeling.
It's free assists. So.
Sean, you mentioned tracking everyone's offensive rebounds. How much of Odom's coaching style is accountability like that?
Yeah, I think just with the way we run transition offense, everyone has a race to win, we say. Like get back guys, same thing as track. Like every single thing you do on the court is pretty much tracked, which holds everyone accountable. And then it's on the whiteboard the next day. Everyone's like total score. So yeah, I think it's a big thing, not only like playing well on the stat sheet, but they value how well you played based on whether you did your jobs or not. So I think accountability is a big thing.
Joe, you guys have talked about the whiteboard before. What's accepted, what's not accepted. What do you think you guys did well tonight? What's going to go up on the whiteboard?
I gotta think. Like we take time to do this. It's not like, I mean, it looks like we had a pretty good 3-point percentage, 2-point percentage, free throw percentage. Probably gonna have to look over the film. We did give up like 46 maybe in the second half, so that's gonna be on the side where we gotta look at our breakdowns defensively, and that's gonna be important because going forward we gotta make sure we're guarding guys. But like just off the looking at the stat sheet and like thinking about the game right now, those are the few things I can think about.
At this stage of the season, are you guys able to look at the conference standings at all and look at what the next game means in terms of that, or are you just zeroed in on the next opponent?
Yeah, we talk about it often, and not in a way that we want to like think too far ahead or anything like that, but like this current game that we're about to play matters towards it, so that's what we focus on is the current game. Coach is showing it on the whiteboard before we play. Like if we want to do the things we want to do, like it starts tonight. You can't drop one like this and then you're out. If we drop one, we're out of it. Whereas keep winning and staying alive.
Opening statement. Okay. Obviously, really pleased with the win. Thought our guys, certainly were into the game, and the start to the game certainly was key for us. We've had, some lackluster starts recently, and that was not the case today. It certainly was a goal of ours, to play well early and really try to impose our will on the game, while realizing that it's a 40-minute game. We were getting some stops early. Shooting the ball pretty well, getting some baskets, and we're able to develop a lead over the course of the first half. Going into halftime, our guys were energetic. They felt good about where they were at, but at the same time, we reminded them, there were some plays out there. Rhode Island runs really good offense, and they had quite a few open looks, that just didn't go down for them. And certainly, that can't be the standard for us. Just hoping that somebody misses. We've got to make people miss, a little bit better. The turnovers were a problem, in the first half, and I think the guys did a much better job. Shy, the one that Max had, not realizing that the guy was behind him. In the second half, we only had 2. We shot the ball better from 2 today, than we have in games past. Certainly that's going to be a key for us going forward. But all in all, really pleased with the win, and we have a ton of respect for, Rhode Island, Coach Miller, and what they're doing. They're obviously playing still without one of their starters. Second game he hasn't played, and a big loss for him. He's going to be a good player.
Hey, Coach, there was a point in the second half. They cut it to 19.
Yep.
Brian, you called the timeout. What was the message you wanted?
Yeah, that was real simple. It wasn't just that one play, although that one irritated me because the defense actually was pretty solid there. We weren't disciplined with the block out, and it's hard. When you have that type of a lead, you have young people out there that are in and out. There's just a natural relaxation that can happen at times. And some of it's, they were making plays. They were playing freed up, and they were letting it go. And the coach was putting them in some good positions to get off some shots that were pretty clean. And we've got to do a better job of staying with it, playing to our standard and being more fierce, on that defensive side of the ball. And there were times out there that we were not as fierce as we needed to be, but all in all, certainly pleased with our ability to get it going again. And the offense certainly had something to do with that tonight, but second half defense was not where it needed to be.
The roles seem really solidified at this point. Is this the closest to your vision offensively that you guys have been this year?
I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, I think it's just, I think the guys do understand what they're supposed to do when they get out there, when they're with their minutes, right? I think each guy understands that, they have some ability, and one may be different than another. And, playing the matchups at times is certainly something that we try to do. I do think the guys understand, how important each one of them are to the overall team. And, they want to share the ball. I didn't really look at the assists tonight, but it's 15, 15 assists, pretty solid. There's still some passes out there. We passed up some shots, certainly in the first half, and ended up with a harder one. We've got to make sure we're ready to shoot when we catch. But I do think our guys understand what they need to do individually for our team to be successful.
Feels like this is one of the sort of first games in a while that you put it together both offensively and defensively. What does that say about your complete game coming together when it matters?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've got to continue to execute a little bit better. And I think you saw some execution out there, certainly in the last two games where the guys were in the right spots and someone gets a clean look. Certainly you want that, and you need that. But then you also are going to need players making plays, at key times as well, because the defense is going to take it away sometimes. And I think you saw some of that, as well. But defensively, every game is critical right now, for every team, in our conference. And certainly, the top 6 or 7, and it may extend past that. I haven't, totally looked at it, but, every game heading into Brooklyn is critical. And so we're all jockeying and fighting for spots. And, the defense is something that, has got to be there, regardless of who we're playing or what court we're playing on and all that. And then the execution, it comes down to that at the end. In these tight games, you got to be able to execute and, find key baskets, find key stops, make other teams miss, finish with a rebound, in order to get victories. I mean, that's just what it comes down to in these tight games.
How important is that double bye extra day of rest in Brooklyn?
I have no idea. We all want it, right? But I mean, you've seen teams go from, in the Big East and some of these other conferences where they just rattle right through. They play that first game, and then they've already got a game under their belt, and then they're playing the second one, and the other team's kind of just getting started. We had it in the Mountain West out there, and we've seen some teams go through. But as you get deeper into it, it gets harder because you get more fatigued. But that second game, I don't know.
Do you see Zeb's leadership shining right now from a communication standpoint, from an intensity standpoint?
Yeah, Zeb. Yeah, he's tried to step up, in a lot of ways, and been really pleased with him all year. In terms of his willingness to speak up and talk to others, and try to get the team enthused and energetic, at times. And when we're not doing well, pick them up. And I think the cool thing about our team is it's not one guy. We've got multiple guys in timeouts, that communicate and at a high level. And most of them are the older guys, and that's okay. The younger guys are watching that, and they're seeing it and they're witnessing it. And so that's how you build overall the culture of a program. And Zeb's, it's his time right now to do that.
Feds had that late 3 and
Yeah, I mean, they got in there and did well. I mean, I think, Bell obviously played in the first half. Fats didn't get a chance in the first, nor did Rose. But, it's hard when you've been sitting there the whole time, to go in there and all of a sudden make a play. But, Fats is known for that. He's not afraid, to do it, and certainly Rose as well. Bell, it was cool for him. His mom and his sister were here tonight, and so that was cool for them to see him play for the first time. But, really, really proud of those guys because it's not easy. It's not easy not playing the minutes that you want to play, but, they haven't been distracted by it. Fats was working out, earlier before the game with Coach Crawford right after shoot around, and putting some extra work in. So, he gets it. He understands where he's at right now, but it doesn't mean, that we're not going to need him, in a given situation. He's got to be ready, if his number's called.
You've seen all of Max's 1,000 points through here in Utah State. Talk about the special aspect of that milestone.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting, for him and for us, watching him grow over the course of his career. He left a lot to be desired when we first got there. I'll be honest with you. I mean, he was kind of crazy the way he played, and I was on him all the time. And to his credit, he stuck with it. He kept listening, to our staff and his teammates, and hung in there, and kept working. And then all of a sudden, end of that first year, began to play, and he's still a substitute. It's kind of what Fats is going through right now, right? And he was still in that same category, and he figured it out. And going into that next year, beat out a guy that started over him, the year before. He's just that talented and that type of player. And so he's been great, for us to coach, and certainly he's been great for VCU, this year. We're pleased that he's here.
Obviously, what's ahead on Saturday.
Yep.
I want to get your thoughts about balancing, getting them some more work in the next couple of days before Saturday, but also getting them some rest because this will be your 4th game in 10 days.
Yeah, I mean, it's critical for us to recover, right? And we've got a pretty good routine. We know how we do it, and doesn't mean it's going to be, perfect. But, it's a little bit harder when you're playing a first team, a team for the first time, as opposed to the second time through. There's some familiarity, right? Doesn't mean there won't be adjustments. Obviously, the adjustments will come, and you have to prepare, in theory for those. But at the same time, the players kind of know the players a little bit. And it doesn't mean exactly the way that they played in that particular game is going to be the way that they're going to play in the next game. I'm not saying that at all. But we've got to make sure that our guys, at this time of year, they have fresh minds, fresh legs, and they're ready to attack, on game day, and ready to put their best effort in on game day. And there's only been so many things you can change this time of year. You can add some cute little plays, and you can do some things to try to steal some baskets, but ultimately you kind of are who you are, from a defensive perspective and overall offensively. And so, you gotta figure out, how are our guys going to have the best chance to win, and that certainly is making sure that they're rested and making sure that they have great clarity in terms of the game plan, and so they can attack it, when that ball's tipped.
Did you say anything to Max? Have a chance to yet about the milestone?
We all said something in the timeout. Everybody kind of heard it, and so yeah, it's pretty special. He got to pick his music. He picked the Bee Gees in there after the game. It's the first time ever in the history of coaching that the Bee Gees have been played in the locker room after the game. But an amazing song, "More Than a Woman." Huh? I don't have any idea, but they all have a song. They all have a song that they've picked, and then the GAs play it. Whoever the player of the game is, they get to play it, and so that all of a sudden popped on. So that was his, I guess. I have no idea. But there's YouTube. There's a lot of stuff out there nowadays. So anything else?
Anything else for Coach, guys?
All right, guys.